President Ray, District Governors-elect, fellow Rotarians, good morning. Let me tell you about Elizabeth. Elizabeth has spent most of her life carrying water from a small river to her home in the Nakuru region of Kenya's Rift Valley. It's a trek of about 6 kilometers. Elizabeth supports a family of 10, including her husband, whom she describes as a drunkard. She carries the water in a plastic jerry can slung over her back. It holds 20 liters of water. It weighs 20 kilograms, close to 50 pounds. Each trip takes about an hour. The math is simple. A minimum of 20 liters of water for each member of the family equals 200 liters a day. Every day, she was spending about 10 hours in this back-breaking manual labor. And the tragedy was that the water was neither safe nor clean. Her family got sick. The children missed school. At the end of the day, not surprisingly, she was exhausted. She didn't have the time or the energy to help her family or earn an income. A sad picture of poverty and ill health, directly attributable to the lack of safe water near her home. Enter the Rotary Club of Nakuru. This club, under the dynamic leadership of successive presidents, recognized the need and the opportunity for a major humanitarian program. They heeded the words of Kofi Annan, former Secretary General of the United Nations, who said, "Access to safe water is a fundamental human need and therefore a basic human right." The club carried out tests on the available groundwater. There was water, but it was polluted, and it contained too much fluoride. It would poison the people and destroy their bones. Assessment of the situation and evaluation of alternatives pointed to rainwater harvesting as the most appropriate solution. The club held meetings with the villagers. Workshops helped them to understand the impact of polluted water on their lives and the benefits of safe water to their health and livelihood. The villagers understood the problem and formed their own committee. Each family contributed 1,000 Kenya shillings, roughly $12 US, to plant 100 trees to preserve the environment. The Rotary Club provided materials for each household to build a 10 cubic meter water storage tank, large enough for a family to get through the 90-day dry season safely. The villagers covered a large area, as much as 50 kilometers radius from the town of Nakuru. To supervise construction over such a wide area, the Rotary Club formed 28 Rotary Community Corps. An RCC was responsible for training the villagers and building the tanks. More amazing, they created a microbank for the women. Yes, for the women, to manage the funds. This program has transformed the people's lives. Freed from the drudgery of carrying water each and every day, Elizabeth borrowed 1,000 shillings from the bank and bought chickens. From the sale of eggs and meat, she saved enough money to buy 2 goats. This, in turn, she built into a thriving milk and meat business. Then she expanded further. She bought some cabbage seedlings, sold the mature cabbages, and bought more seedlings. She now raises 3 crops of cabbages a year. Each crop generates 30,000 shillings, equivalent to $360 US. For the year, her return is almost $1,200. As Elizabeth says, "My son no longer gets sick. he's going to a better school. And her husband no longer drinks. He admires his wife. He helps look after the goats. This transformation was made possible by the support of Rotary clubs in Canada and the Netherlands, complemented by a grant from the Canadian International Development Agency, and, of course, a grant from the Rotary Foundation. But this is just one of hundreds of successful Rotary water and sanitation projects. For example, Rotarians in Nairobi, with support from members of a Rotary club in Denver, USA, and the Rotary Foundation, guided a slum community to build a toilet block that includes showers and a baby washing station. Rotarians enabled the community to form a committee and elect leaders. They trained the team in project management. They negotiated with the local authorities for access to the sewage system to dispose of the waste. In northern Ghana, the Rotary Club of Tamale, with support from the Rotary Foundation, the Carter Center, and Rotary clubs in New Hampshire, embarked on a program to eradicate guinea worm disease. As a result of their efforts, this disfiguring disease is virtually eliminated. The community of Lopko in Benin got its water and sanitation system through the efforts of Rotarians from Cotonou, with support from the Rotary Foundation and the Rotary Club of Bitonto Terre dell'Olio in Italy. The Rotary Club of Ashmore, Australia, helped Rotarians from the Cherawan Nakorn Club in Thailand install a water filtration system in 13 schools in the suburbs of Bangkok. Again, the Rotary Foundation provided the glue to bring these clubs together on a humanitarian mission. Rotarians in India's District 3150 brought peace to a community that had been in perpetual conflict over a shortage of water. Working with community leaders, they agreed to build an $80,000 irrigation project to bring water to 300 acres of arable land. Over 100 families benefited. Because of Rotary intervention, and with support from the Rotary Foundation, peace now prevails. But we still have a long way to go. Water is, as Kofi Annan has said, a basic human right. That right is reaffirmed in the Millennium Development Goals, which state, reduce by 50% the proportion of people without access to safe water and sanitation. And it was enshrined in a recent vote at the United Nations. This is one of the world's biggest challenges. In Ethiopia, for example, 74% of the population lack access to safe water. In the rural areas, it's 86%. In India, 580 million people lack adequate sanitation. 140 million don't have safe water. Without safe water and sanitation, human progress is a fantasy. Rotary's future vision, shifting our sights from short-term projects to longer-term programs, is the first step in having a truly significant impact on the humanitarian development that Rotarians strive for. The 6 areas of focus depend entirely on water and sanitation. Without it, nothing is possible. It's elementary. Without safe water and sanitation, maternal and child health will remain a dream. Children will never get adequate education if the women and young girls spend countless hours hauling water. Economic activity will flounder unless people have the time and energy to devote to it. And increasingly, peace and harmony will be threatened unless everyone has access to this most basic of resources. A staggering 80% of the world's population does not have water security. How can we ever have peace without access to water? District governors-elect, let the future vision encourage you and your clubs to think and act bigger, better, and bolder. Provision of water is not an end in itself. It is the means to transform the social and economic base of a community. Don't think of a project as just digging a well, installing a filter, or building a toilet. Focus instead on the humanitarian outcomes: health, education, and literacy, alleviation of hunger, economic well-being. And when you embark on a project, look to the Water and Sanitation Rotarian Action Group, Wasrag, as it's known to many of you, for guidance. There you will find how to ensure that your projects are truly sustainable, bringing life-saving water and sanitation to the community for many years to come. You will learn how to build in ongoing monitoring and evaluation. And if you commit to this program mindset of the future vision, you will see that long-term success requires more than Rotary's traditional one-year commitment. District governors-elect here assembled, you can play your part in helping the world to achieve its Millennium Development Goals for water and sanitation. Team up with your Rotary partners at home and abroad. They are our unique resource. Host clubs in developing countries. You need partners in the high economy countries to get the resources you need to make change happen: funding, expertise, and know-how. International partners from the high economy countries. You need the host club. You need the Rotarians with boots on the ground to ensure that you truly build on local culture and values. Together, you should look to the Rotary Foundation, the glue that holds our unique organization together, to leverage our partnerships and make them effective, ongoing, and sustainable. And at the end of the day, when all is said and done, our true measure of success will be the number of Elizabeths that we have helped, and all the children of those Elizabeths whose lives have been transformed by the simple fact of access to safe water and sanitation. This is the basic and inescapable reality of Rotary, the tremendous, and for many of us, humbling privilege of changing people's lives for the better. Thank you.